distinguished guests, respected faculty members, esteemed alumni and students of FMS. A very warm welcome to each one of you. It is a privilege for me to welcome you all to the Founders' Day celebrations of the FMS Forum. Today is not merely a commemorative gathering, it is a celebration of legacy, leadership, excellence and the enduring spirit of FMS. Founders' Day reminds us of the vision upon which this institution was built, a vision of intellectual rigor, integrity and impact. As we gather here this evening, we celebrate all the individuals who continue to shape its future. On behalf of the FMS Forum, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our distinguished guests and alumni who have joined us today. To formally commence today's proceedings, I would like to introduce the President of the FMS Forum, Mr. Naveen Kapur, an FMS alumnus of the batch of 1986. Mr. Kapur took over as the President of the FMS Forum in July 2024. He is an economics graduate from St. Stephen's College, a law graduate from the Faculty of Law at Delhi University, an MBA graduate from FMS, and attended Indian Institute of Foreign Trade courses. While a student at FMS, he took a class in microeconomics, had a passion for travel, and wove his entire career around it in international marketing. Having traveled to more than 137 countries, including those where angels fear to tread. He has been the president of the international division of Apollo Tyres Group and is currently an executive director of the group company. Mr. Naveen has been the Sherpa to the Indian chapter of BRICS Business Council since its inception in 2013. With this, I would like to invite you, sir, to the dais to deliver the welcome address.
Good evening, everyone. Professor Venkatraman, Dean Faculty of Management Studies and patron of FMS Forum, respected teachers, past and present. Professor Mitra, a special thanks for attending this function today. Though you had a prior engagement, thank you very much for joining us. Distinguished speakers today who are alumni of FMS, Mr. Rakshat Hargave, Mr. Neeraj Garg, Mr. Vikram Podar and Dr. Nandini Sharma. Welcome to the alumni and to the students. A warm welcome to the Founders' Day of FMS. This is a day when we remember our founder, Professor A. Das Gupta, and the entire generation of teachers, students and alumni who have built this brand, which is FMS. It is one of the foremost business institutions in India. And let me tell you, last week I had attended an alumni dinner where Professor Venkatraman gave us a very interesting statistic that last year 35,817 students, candidates sat for the examination and only 287 made it, so which is less than 1%. To the students, I want you to know, don't underestimate yourselves. You have left 99 candidates behind to come into this room that you are today. So congratulations to you. I wish you all a bright future. Having told you this, there is no sense of complacency at this stage, because now that you know, in cricket you have the round robin, then you have the Super 8, then you have the, we call it the quarterfinals, semi-finals. Now you will be competing with the best. So you have to learn some more skills after you come out of the red building of dreams when you get your degrees. That is why when we met the students, they requested us, why don't you do a topic this time for the Founders' Day, which is relevant to us. So this time the topic is what begins when formal education ends. That is where it's very, very important that once you come out of college, you've got a base, you've got a good foundation, you have to build on that. It is very rightly said that hard skills will get you an interview. Soft skills will get you the job and it will keep you in the job. So that is why this time, at the request of students, before we used to have speakers from all over, this Founders' Day is very unique in its term because it is by, of and for FMS. Every person in this room belongs to the FMS fraternity. And another very welcome change this time is we've included HCA, who have taken a lot of interest. And that is why we have Dr. Nandini Sharma who will be speaking to us. So the basic idea of this time's Founders Day is that we have speakers who have been illustrious performers in the various sectors that they are working in, and they will come and share their stories with you. Now, just to give you a little bit flavor of my own story, when I passed out from FMS, I was not happy in the job that I was doing until there was some quirk of fate which put me into international marketing. And as a kid, I remember I used to see what you remember as a Viewmaster, where you saw countries, and I always used to dream about that. So when the opportunity came to me, I grasped it with both hands. And what I did then was, I have traveled like I was about 130, 40 odd countries. In the streets of the market, what I learned has stood me in fairly good stead. That at the young age of 68, I'm still on a full-time employment, where a lot of people retire. So some learnings, I will just share a few of them, because there are many learnings, but the important ones are, one is relationship. If I were to rate one most important thing when you come out of your business school, is how to build relationships. How I learned this was that many years ago I was traveling to Baghdad for the first time, to Iraq. And I met some people to find out as to what is the secret sauce to do business in this part of the world. He just told me a simple thing. He says, "Beta, ek cheez yaad rakhna, dil ki raah dhoondo, kaam ho jayega." I had 1 week before my departure, everything that had to be learned about that part of the world, Nebuchadnezzar, Hammurabi, Babylon, Najaf, Karbala, I choked everything in. Talked to the guys in the embassy, what is the culture? They said, when you meet a man, you have to shake hands and 3 kisses on alternate cheeks. So I learned that art. Can you believe it? My first trip, somehow, and they said, you have to break bread with them, eat with them, go through their culture, whatever. I learned all of that. In my first visit to Baghdad, I did more business than the cumulative business I'd done in 5 years before that. So I thought relationship was a very, very important thing to build in. Another small story. I've been very lucky when I've taken flights. One flight I'd taken was from Maputo to Johannesburg. There was a gentleman sitting next to me, one black gentleman, we got into conversation. He says, "Have you know of a country called Malawi?" I said, "No, never heard of it." He says, "Next time you travel to Zambia, why did you come to Malawi?" I go to that country, discover the president of that country is a product of, guess what? SRCC and B School of Economics. So I just sit down and I make a letter to him in the State House and just give it to him. Less than 24 hours later, he calls me. I get a call from State House. He wants to meet you, and I wear a suit and I go there. The first meeting lasted 2 hours 30 minutes, where we didn't talk of work, whatever. I said, "I just come to meet you as a co-alumnus of University of Delhi. I was in St. Stephen's, you were in SRCC and all, in commerce. SRCC is the North Pole or whatever." He told me about his stay in university. He told me about going to Chachaji Hatti, taking his girlfriend to Tibetan monastery, then having samosas, 12.5 rupee bus pass, whatever he was telling me, I kept on listening. That meeting, when we came out, there was a minister outside. He said, "What have you done?" Because 15 minutes he looks at the watch and tells us to get out. "How come you sit?" I said, "Sir, 2 hours, 25 minutes he spoke. 5 minutes I spoke." And you allow the person to stop, it goes on till eternity. One tip I was given also, which I would like to share with all of you is, whenever you go to meet a big person with whom you want an appointment and spend time with him, even if it is very, very hot, 45 degrees, if he offers you to something you drink, always ask for tea. Why? Because water has to boil, tea leaves have to go, it has to be brewed, you get that much more time with that person. Let me tell you a secret. When I was taken over as president, the first time I came to this campus was to meet Professor Venkataraman. And it was a very hot day. He asked me, "What do you want to have?" I said, "Tea." So that gave us more time to spend with each other. Now, talking about successes, there are also failures. Like I gave you this story about this president doing very well. Yet there was another president who came here from another country called Zambia, and he was doing some medical procedure. After that, with a lot of difficulty, I got into the room to meet him. So I had remembered the story of poverty that I had shared with the old president just about a few months ago. So I told him, Your Excellency, delighted to meet you. I read about you. You were a janitor, you were a porter, you were a police constable at Victoria in UK and all that. And now you are the president of the country. I thought he was going to welcome me. You know what he looks at me and says? Get out. So with tail between my legs, tears rolling my cheek, I came out. Because he says, I don't want to learn about my poverty. Tell me what work you have. So everybody is made differently. The third lesson I learned is networking. Actually, unfortunately, we look at networking as a cause and effect. It does not work like that. You see, there are two kinds of fishermen. There is one fisherman who what he does is, he has that rod, he has that tackle, and he puts the bait and throws it in the water and waits for the fish. Sometimes morning till evening he is just waiting, no fish comes and bites his bait. So how to tell his wife that, I did a hard day's work, he goes to the market, picks up a fish and brings home. That is if you are focusing on networking. The other fisherman is a guy who throws the net and goes home and sleeps. Next morning he picks up the net, it's got full catch. So what I would say is, whenever you're traveling, dress up well, talk to the person next to you. If I had not spoken to a person on that flight on Maputo, I wouldn't have gone to the country. So talk to people, expand your network, attend Founders Day like FMS, and you'll certainly succeed. That's all I have to say. Only one thing I would like to say is, all you students, after having come to this red building of dreams, you know the path. Now you have to walk the path. So for that, soft skills need to come, and I'm sure the speakers after me will give you much more of their experience and you'll gain out of that. Thank you very much.